Hello everyone, welcome back to my Apocalypse Challenge. This is a bit cliche to start with, but I do want to thank anyone who has left a comment on any of the videos so far. I absolutely love reading them and I love hearing about your experience of your Apocalypse Challenges, or if you've never played one before and you're just commenting like, what the hell is this? Honestly, I feel the same. What the hell is going on? We re-enter number 1 Doomsday Drive in the wake of a bit of a crisis. Gina, this generation's spouse, just got fired from, I think, level 8 of the science career, which, to put it mildly, sucks. She was definitely a shoo-in for the mad scientist job, although she hasn't shown any signs of insanity so far. Unfortunately, she is slightly over halfway through her adult life stage, so getting to level 10 in any job, and then also finding time to, make Generation 3, is probably not happening. She did have the decency to act guilty and be upset about it, but then she just spent the afternoon in bed. Diana, meanwhile, is networking on her brother's behalf, who for some reason has been made a university professor. I imagine Peter isn't too upset about Gina getting fired because it did mean I let them get it on for the first time, so congrats to him for losing his virginity at 50 years old. I hear it's the new 30, especially in the apocalypse. They weren't successful the first time around, so in for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. Oh, there's the baby chimes, so Generation 3 will be on its way. Let's see if I can give Gina an easier time while pregnant than her mother-in-law, who I did manage to poison. I'm so scared of these chance cards now. Luckily, Diana just got skill point boost. I'm not even going to complain that she already had 10 logic skill points. At least she still has a job. And that's Diana at level 3. I think at this point I have a confession to make. These few days in the challenge were like a complete disaster, and even watching it back, I'm not exactly sure what went wrong. I think that I thought Peter had enough friends to get promoted and he didn't, or he did have enough, but then you get that relationship decay at 4 o'clock, and that completely dunked on us. But I realized with a dawning horror that it was Friday, and college professors don't work at the weekends, and he was like 2 days away from aging, so unfortunately, he was never going to be able to go to work again. So you are just witnessing a real-time complete crash out, because that is 2 out of the 3 Sims of this generation completely failed in their tasks. Now, I won't blame them, they were not having a great time. I could have had Peter drink the elixir of life, but the issue with that was that I don't think Peter's aspiration has ever been above green, because all he wants to do is play video games, so yeah. It's a total write-off. Peter's now uncontrollable, so I guess we're just going to pretend he doesn't exist. I hope I didn't give the impression in any of the previous episodes that I was like good at playing The Sims or like skilled in this challenge in any way, because I'm sure that is extremely disappointing. But yeah, Generation 2, we're not even going to talk about it for much longer anyway. This does mean that all the hopes for progress are pinned on Diana, who is working on the music restriction. If I'd have known that actually the mantle of responsibility fell to her, I may have tried to get her a career in something more useful, but at this point, we now know that time is a very precious thing, and as she's doing okay in music, I'm not going to change it now. So yeah, sorry, there's no schools opening anytime soon. There's no lights, but at least the coffee shops are playing music again. Peter is still maintaining his criminal connections. Perhaps I should have used him for the life of crime restriction. I've learnt my lesson about family friends as well. We are stopping everyone that walks past from now on. Peter is now just being farmed for aspiration points. Since Diana is the family aspiration, she has a lot of wants to like do things with her brother, which is nice and quite useful. I missed the first baby bump, but here is Gina on her second. Managed not to give her food poisoning, so maybe my sim skills are not a complete failure. Throwback here to Peter's childhood being lectured for breaking the sink. Growing old is mandatory, growing up is optional. Is that something people say? Diana's now a teacher at a music camp, so we are still working towards the re-education of the youth in some small way, even if Peter failed to reinstate high school. Sorry, I will stop going on about it, but I'm really bitter about this, both the luck of the chance cards, but also my own personal failings. Okay, yeah, I am still continuing my track record of taking terrible care of pregnant Sims. She gave birth about half an hour after that to a baby boy whom I named Steve. He is named after Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. Captain America the First Avenger is my favourite Marvel movie. I have been told, mostly by guys at parties, that that is an incorrect opinion, but hopefully Sim Steve will be as brave and heroic as Captain America in the face of this dystopian nightmare he's been born into. I think I need to stop leaving it so late in Sims' lives to have a baby because Peter just held Steve hostage for most of his babyhood, and I was like not able to direct him to, put the baby down. Like, please just put him down so one of the actual controllable Sims can feed him. I think this led to Steve being a bit malnourished, to be honest. Diana has come home with a promotion and the flu, so, one good, one bad. It all evens out. She's now a Battle of the Bands judge, which is obviously, a real job that you can definitely have, especially in the apocalypse. Diana is cosplaying Typhoid Mary here and spreading this flu around the entire family, which is a bit dangerous since we haven't unlocked any medical care. No days off though, she needs 2 mechanical skill points for the next level. And we are 3 for 3 on the triumvirate all being ill. It's very difficult, if that's the right word, for Sims to die of disease in this game, but if there's ever a time that it happens, it's going to be now. Probably not helped by the lack of nutrition. It's all hamburgers all of the time. Paper aeroplanes are back in because I was having to tell Peter to stop reading the newspaper every 10 minutes. Luckily, other forms of entertainment are available. I'm having a second baby because if we have learned anything from Generation 2, it's that having a spare child can be extremely useful. Gina very successfully managed to grow baby Steve up, and check out that head of hair. My goodness. Clearly there's not a shampoo shortage in the apocalypse. He's going to follow in his aunt's footsteps and become a baby Mozart because everyone else in his household is too sick, pregnant, or busy to teach him any toddler skills. They were all living in too close a proximity to kick this illness. As soon as one recovered, someone else just gave it straight back to them. Luckily, it seems like toddlers are immune, so Steve was fine. Gina is having the worst life of her life. Baby 2 is coming to join the madness. Probably the last thing we need. You want to know the best part about having 2 sinks? They can both be broken at the same time. And then your Sims can refuse to fix them because they're so stinky, but they can't be less stinky until they fix them, so we're stuck in catch-22 forever. I think Peter really was the best at fixing all the sinks, but turns out Sims don't fix things autonomously, so he is being no help at all. Okay, I think we're bordering on child abuse here. Certainly Sims abuse, and certainly me abuse. This particular part of the challenge was really hellish. We had screaming, we had morning sickness, we had the flu, we had Peter getting in the way of literally everything. I'm not even sure Gina and Peter unlocking any careers would really have helped this situation. What we really need is some food and a shower. In all the chaos, Diana almost missed her ride to work. I think that would have just ended me. I might really have quit without saving at that point if I couldn't get any of the 3 of them to do anything. Why have I done this to myself? Why would anyone do this to themselves? We could be fancying around in Pleasant View, watching Cassandra get left at the altar for the 8,000th time. But no, we're here, watching Gina, face down in some mouldy hamburgers. Baby number 2 is here. This is Selena. Apparently this is Catwoman's real name. I just googled that. She was the first female superhero that came to me. I realized we've created a new crisis. Now this is a subset of the bed crisis that we were experiencing last episode. We have a crib shortage. Oh, I've just noticed that Tony... Oh my god, I just called him Tony. Okay, I did... Okay, Peter is in the back there, crying his eyes out, while his wife gives birth in the next room. He's clearly not infused with the joy of new life. That's actually really depressing. Luckily, the crib shortage was very short-lived, because in a rare win from me, it was Steve's birthday about 4 hours later. Steve has been completely neglected as a toddler, I'm afraid to say. And the proof of the pudding is in the aspiration perks panel, which shows he's only managed to get 2 aspiration points. I'm not sure he even learned to walk, so sorry Steve, we've not set you up for a life of success, but I have big plans for you to succeed where your parents didn't. Diana is crawling on her knees up the career ladder. She's now a roadie, vitally important to rebuilding society, of course. Hopefully my Sims will be like the cicadas of myth and get so into singing that they will feast on the melodies that they evolve beyond the need for food. At least I think that's something that Plato said. Like, that's what he thought about the evolution of cicadas. I don't know. Look it up. It's in one of his dialogues. Diana's toddler xylophone experience can only get her so far, and she does actually need creativity skill points. I'm pretty sure the only way of achieving this is to have her write a novel, and you sort of like pretend that the computer is just a typewriter. So this dinosaur machine that Tony brought back from university about 60 years ago is finally getting used. Don't ask me how this translates to musical skills. Perhaps she is a lyricist. Diana is writing about what she knows. Let's put it like that. I'm thinking about the little astronaut guy as Tony, and she's writing a kind of memoir. Not that anyone wants to remember any of this, least of all me. Problem with the computer is Sims love to autonomously use it for things they aren't allowed to do. Like, obviously, you don't have any email. Trying to fix this by creating a sort of late 90s style computer room and then just locking the door. Family traditions run strong in this house. We are preparing for our third chess prodigy. This was a real crunch. I think 3 out of 4 of them were actually about to die of hunger, and this whole challenge would have been over real fast. These are not coming thick and fast, but they are coming. It turns out that being a musician in The Sims actually requires very little creativity in the low levels. You can get to like level 7 with only about 4 creativity skill points. Make it make sense, but also it's great for me. I think Tony's genes have got radioactive strength because Steve has also inherited 10 neat points. Okay, we have toddler Selena here. Not as much hair as her brother, who must have gained access to some scissors at some point. I don't think Selena is going to have any better childhood than Steve because their parents are simply too miserable to deal with it, and I cannot spare Diana. She has got to get these skills because I need something unlocked because I can't do another generation like this. Gina's turn to be the birthday girl. That puts Diana in the unenviable situation of being the only controllable adult in the house. So that's all the responsibility for hamburgers. And now she also goes to work in the middle of the night. Oh, Peter! This animation looks like he's just straight up dying of hunger. Because that's not the old age animation. Oops. Did I accidentally starve him to death? I did check. You can see here, I'm checking, and children aren't able to plead with the Grim Reaper, and Diana was at work, so I'm afraid, yeah, Peter's gone. Wow. This caused a great misery to everyone, except Steve, who kind of took it on the chin. Gina getting out the fake flower baby when her real actual baby is crying right next to her is like, I don't know, Shakespeare couldn't write this. I can see, I think it's Gwen's ghost out there, but I don't think she scared Peter to death. Because I didn't see any of that happen. I think I've literally just like not fed him, or like he's not, fed himself. He must have been asleep when the hamburgers are available. However, I did feel at this point that this was about to become an unstable situation with the ghost because we now have 3, so I have booted them all into oblivion to a random empty community lot. Is this allowed? I don't know. I feel like it's functionally the same as deleting them, which is permitted, but I'm a simmer of the mid-2000s, and it is forever ingrained into me that if you delete a tombstone, your game and your entire computer will immediately explode into a fiery ball of corruption. I know that this is not true, but it just feels so wrong. Unfortunately, a side effect of moving graves is that it re-triggers the death event, so Selena got a fear of a family member dying fulfilled again. So that's 2 for the price of 1 on mental breakdowns here in the apocalypse. In that kerfuffle, I forgot to give Peter an obituary. Sorry, I was so shocked. Peter, you know what? You wore that lampshade. I mean, the mantle of responsibility better than anyone. You're a man born for fun, and I think you got it about 3 times in your life. And although you didn't make it to the top of a career, you were probably a very fun college professor, loved by all students. We're giving it up for Peter today. And if I had $1 for every time I called him Tony while recording this, he still wouldn't have made it to the top of the education career. Sent Diana to work with an energy bar like this. Is it any wonder we're not further in the challenge? This was all a bit much on poor Diana. Diana's girlfriend stopped by for a visit and she immediately rolled a want to get married and have a baby. It's actually mega cute. Diana, maybe one day when this is all over, I will resurrect you and give you the life you deserved. I had her fulfill the only possible want, which was to study anger management, and then she re-rolled to hire a butler. I don't know if she's making some kind of sick joke or she's reached a hitherto unheard of level of delusion, but it did make me laugh. Although with the amount of dirty baby bottles on the floor, we do desperately need a butler. Ooh, levels of radiation are reaching critical levels out here. Oh, Diana kind of fancies me, it seems. Have to say I am flattered, but I am just here on business. We need all those family friends that we lost when Peter died, and the phones aren't connected for another 3 days. Selena grew up. Honestly, I forgot about her a bit. She spent her entire toddler years banging away at the xylophone. I put her straight to work, though. Nothing wrong with a young child talking to an adult man out in the snow to network for her aunt's music career. I'm refraining from any dark jokes, you guys. This challenge is messed up enough. She's clearly charming, though, and has made friends with this guy pretty easily. If I knew his name, I'd tell you. Right now, he's an anonymous record producer, hopefully. Unfortunately, that little schmooze session turned Selena blue. I need to go easier on the child exploitation here. If I never cue a sim to wash their hands again, it will be too soon. Okay, it is Stevie's birthday, the view unfortunately blocked by this crowd of townies who came to watch him, and oh my god, why? Steve is a romance sim. Well, at least it's less creepy for him to help us with the family friends, although not a huge asset if he's going to get run over. Maybe the romance thing will be fine, actually. Peter was pleasure, which was arguably way worse, so hope does remain. I mean, you know, this challenge bans a lot of fun, but, you know, it can't stop people making out or whatever. Did I not say that hope remains? From the kiddie xylophone to a concert pianist, isn't this all very narratively satisfying? I can't even let her sit down, honestly. She's not super far away from aging, and if we don't unlock music, I'm going to take permanent psychic damage. I think Steve might be an idiot. He was screaming that he was hungry next to a giant plate of hamburgers. Let's brainstorm some career ideas for Steve here, because I don't think he's going to make it as, like, a mad scientist or a... He could be a good professional party guest, perhaps. His lifetime want is to be a hairstylist. Is he, you know... I'm kidding, not all hairdressers are gay. Although he was thinking pretty hard about kissing while talking to this guy, so it's all up in the air for now. Diana needs 2 creativity skill points, preferably by tomorrow morning. I just called the novel Nightmares because that's really how I felt about it. It was kind of a flop. The door's unlocked for 2 seconds and Steve is like downloading Tinder. Yeah, she didn't do it because, you know, she had to wash her hands a million times and also make burgers for everyone. Career prospects diminishing, nothing cerebral and nothing technical. God, he's kind of mean as well. He won't even play a game with his younger sister. Diana got that creativity skill just in time to have 3 days off in a row, which is great. The sequel to Nightmares is called Horrors Hitting Bookstores Near You. This one sold better, twice as well even. And it's now Tuesday Talking Day. I need Diana to reconnect with some teenage flames to get those last 2 promotions. Diana was not going to make it, but unlike Peter, it was conceivably possible to get her aspiration up to gold, so I had her chug on some of that sweet life juice that Tony brought back from university, which gains her an extra 3 days? 5 days? I don't know, but Tony brought this elixir at university. He carried back all the way from La Fiesta Tech to the main neighborhood, so we can use it, but it is in limited supply. There's only 5 doses. Don't know what's going on with this townie here, because Diana had, like, best friend level relationship, but this girl wouldn't even talk to her. I'm, like, suspicious that some kind of teenage lesbian love triangle stuff happened off screen while I wasn't looking, and she's had a bit of a fight. The anachronistically jaunty music coming out the stereo is really setting the scene. 3 novels down, this one's a massive hit and sent Diana into a platinum mood, and left her with the desire to quit her job. Not on your life. Maybe she should have been a journalist. No, let's not get distracted. I'm trying to be a bit more proactive about the skills because I've been very reactive so far and making them study the skills as they require them. I'm assuming at this point that level 10 of the music track probably requires maximum creativity skill point. I'm hiding the stereo in someone's inventory. That smooth jazz was not mellowing me out. Peter's kind of having some teenage angst. I don't really blame him, but he's got the same curse as some of his ancestors had, where they're just really desperate to play Marco Polo and nothing else, so he's just hovering slightly above aspiration failure. He's also, like, mega hungry. I swear he ate with everyone at 2 a.m. You know, prime hamburger time, but he's, like, starving again already. Selena's having a lovely bathroom birthday. Sorry if you forgot that she existed. She was just being a child, really. She's rolled fortune, which is great, because as an adult, once she starts working, she should just have wants to like get promotions and skills, which is exactly what I need her to do. So I'm delighted with her so far. I don't think anyone else was delighted though. 3 horsemen of the apocalypse: stinkiness, hungriness, and aspiration failure. I think I did roll her a secondary aspiration, but it was like pleasure or something, so I chose to ignore it. And Steve, oh yeah, I forgot to give him a secondary aspiration, so. Rite of passage for breaking the sink achieved. Diana somehow managed to get fat in the apocalypse, which is honestly impressive. Good for her. Unfortunately, the maker of the gun holster mesh did not give it a fat morph, so, your aunt's so fat every time she gets dressed, she becomes the sky? Does that work? We've got a cockroach infestation. I feel no sympathy for Steve in this because it's him that's kicking over the bins in a teenage tantrum that's caused this issue. Don't really know what to do about this because we can't use pesticide. But, I mean, we could have. We could have if Gina hadn't gotten that chance card. We could be spraying the town green, but we can't. So we are just living in a infestation. Diana's home. A little hard to miss, really. I think now that she's a symphony conductor, I'll just take the holster off. I'm hoping that that's a pretty safe workspace. Okay, that's better. She's normal. What's the word? She's rendering correctly now. Oh my god, not the Grim Reaper in the fridge. Anyone want a side of death with their hamburgers? Oh my god. Well, bye Gina. Get that grave off my property immediately. All I can do is really parrot Gwen's obituary from the last episode. Thank you for your contribution. I'm sorry about the chance card and for pretending that you don't exist for the last 20-some years. That's Diana's last charisma skill point. I'm rubbing my hands together in anticipation right now. Steve is seriously having the worst life ever. He is always cold or sick or faint from hunger, usually all 3. Though these teens are desperate to get an education. Selena especially wants to like go to private school and go to college. I don't want to be the one to break it to her that neither of those things exist. This town has gotten so boring that we have resorted to spreading libel about cats. But Diana, you know, she's still got it. I like that she snuck down the side of the house. I guess she doesn't want to rub it in failed romance sim Steve's face. Okay, Diana is at work, and we are calling everyone to ring in some favours, hopefully with the powers to purchase her lyric sheets. Oh, Diana, as I live and breathe, you are truly the Augustus of the second generation triumvirate, the only one left alive and the most successful by a mile. Thank you so much. I'm gonna read out the very short flavor text for unlocking the music career. With a mighty chord and a mighty roar, the icy grasp of winter is no more. Yeah, that's what it says in the rules. I guess she shredded the guitar so hard that the sun came out. I don't know if it's a reference to something, but I am delighted. So unlocking the music restriction. It's not game-changing, but it does mean we can use telescopes. We can put items outside, but most importantly, it doesn't have to be winter all the time. And let me tell you, I ran to the neighborhood screen and immediately set it to spring all the time. I'm so excited to never see any snow again. The other 2 seasons are still locked, but spring has sprung, the skies are clear, and that is the real music to my ears. Let's finish on a high note this time. That's the end of episode 5. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you will tune in next time to watch these troublesome teenagers blossom into responsible adults. And let's see what delights, calamities, and terrifying glitches are in store for us next. Oh my god. He's not called Steve. Yes, he is.